Just 2 more sleeps until MLS Cup Final 2017, and it was press conference day for both the Seattle Sounders and Toronto FC. Gareth Wheeler with you with another special TFC HQ presented by Kia. 18 cameras, 5 photographers, plenty of media in attendance as both sides addressed the public ahead of Saturday's final. And it was really a tale of 2 separate press conferences. Seattle, it was light, it was jovial, it reeked of a team that's been there, done that before in terms of winning an MLS Cup. And quite frankly, Seattle just landed and haven't been inundated with these questions all week long. For Toronto FC, businesslike, short and to the point, not wanting to give up too much more material ahead of Saturday's matchup. Case in point, Jozy Altidore in front of the press. Of course, the questions were going to come about his status, how he's feeling ahead of the final, and Jozy really didn't have much to say.
Well, Jozy, how's your ankle? Are you going to play?
Yeah, I'll play. It's good.
Is the ankle pain free? Is it as close as it's going to get? Is it better than what you expected it was going to be at this point?
It doesn't matter.
Altidore's brief comments shouldn't be taken as being contrite. Rather, he said everything that needs to be said. He's going to play. No, he's not going to be 100%, but that doesn't matter heading into a cup final. No point of giving material or excuses or anything like that ahead of Saturday. It's all about business. His focus is on being on the field of play. As for Michael Bradley, eloquent as always in professing his feelings when it comes to the club, the city, and what this MLS Cup final could mean for Toronto.
For me, the way I look at things, this is about our group of guys, our club, this city, the road that we have all taken to get here, what it meant after the disappointment and the heartbreak of last year to have to live each and every day this year, knowing that in the back of our minds, this was all we wanted, to give ourselves another crack. This is a sports mad city. You know, it has a way of wrapping its arms around its teams and its athletes. The relationship that our team has with our fans and with the city is incredible. It's so unique. And we're going to draw on that in a big way.
You can take some hints by the focus of both respective head coaches and what their feelings are about their opponent. In terms of Brian Schmetzer, the Seattle Sounders head coach, he really focused on the flank positions, how the wingbacks would fare for both teams, and he really looks at that as being a key matchup. As for Greg Vanney, it's all about defensive pressure and how Toronto FC can break down a team who has 6 clean sheets on the trot. Here's what Greg Vanney had to say about the defensive approach of his opponent come Saturday.
On some aspect, in order to win games, you've got to break your shape a little bit. You've got to make things difficult for the opposition, and you have to create some uncertainty for their back group and not make things so straightforward to them. And I feel like as I watched some of the Western Conference games against them, a lot of things were very straightforward against them, and they managed all those things very well. So for us is to try to make things difficult, get guys in areas that we think we can take advantage of, make sure we get our guys on the ball as much as we can, and execute when we get chances to execute. So again, good defensive team, but we think we can find some spots to create some problems for them.
As has been brought up all week long, weather was a topic of discussion, and both teams were on the exact same page. You can't control the conditions. Both teams will have to play through no matter what Saturday has to offer. Yes, it's going to be cold, not as cold as last year's final, and Michael Bradley admitted that by the end of the game, they started to feel the bitterness of the cold weather in last year's MLS Cup final. There could be a little snow in the forecast, but the heat underneath the field will make for a slick but fine surface come Saturday. So the team's choosing not to focus on that, and wisely so. There's plenty of work to be done in terms of mental, physical, emotional preparation for Saturday, and clearly both teams in the absolute zone ahead of Saturday's matchup. It's MLS Cup Final 2017. If you don't have a ticket to the Cup Final, you can join in on the viewing party in Liberty Village, the corner of East Liberty and Atlantic, outside of Local. There's going to be big screens, heat lamps, plenty of Budweiser for all. So if you can't make it there, then head on out to the viewing party. And word has it, there may be a couple tickets floating around that you can win to get into the game at BMO Field. Coverage begins on TSN at 3:30 on Saturday. Kickoff closer to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, just 2 more sleeps. Save your voice, Toronto. The Reds are going to need you.